also need to understand that every new appliance that you buy today, whether it's a toaster or a refrigerator, is equipped with a radio transmitter and a chip that is designed to talk to smart meters. And so when the deployment is complete, the unknown somebody who is connected to the smart meter will be able to monitor every activity going on in the building or home. And then they will have the ability to control all of those appliances and equipment in that building or home. Now this is a gross violation of the Constitution, and it's an irresponsible health risk. So the reason for me taking so long to get to my question is this. I know that you have supported the idea of providing an opt-out for individuals, which is certainly a small step in the right direction, but it's only very temporary, because if you understand the scope of this program and this agenda, that opt-out would easily be removed in the future. So my question to you is, would you be willing to revisit this issue again? And please, I hope, come to the conclusion that they should be banned, abandoned, made illegal in the state of Texas.
I'll certainly continue to study the matter, and basically on some local jurisdictions they've done that. It is a little bit of a difficult issue. For me, because I believe it's my role is just to provide a level playing field and punish the wrongdoer. And if someone wants to control their house by someone else, I think I would support the freedom for them to do that. What I do not support is their right to impose that on someone else. And if those waves are causing harm, they should be responsible for that harm. And that's what my legislation did, is it basically removed any immunity that might be provided, since it was done through the government, that if you harm someone with these waves, this radiation, that you would be responsible if you cause a fire. I mean, I spoke in Kilgore, Texas, to a man that sells these, and he told me plainly that there was a defect, and he's been involved in some lawsuits where they had caused fires. I don't think it dealt with the radiation issues, there were other issues, but I don't think you should. We need to get back to taking responsibility for our own lives, our own health. The reason why we have the mayor of New York City dictating how much soda we can have is because we've given the government the responsibility of taking care of our health. That's not the government's responsibility, in my opinion, and stop telling us whether we can skydive or drink sodas or whatever. They should just punish the wrongdoer, defend us from our enemies, and force contracts, get out of the way. I will continue to monitor it, and if we're causing harm, we should stop it, or at least provide that people can sue as a remedy. And one of the things that this gets into,
these meters operate in the gigahertz range, which is known to be in the health risk range, well into that range, above the limit. So the health issue is black and white.
well, I'm not a scientist. I tend to agree with you. I don't think that's the legislature's responsibility to do that. We just need to get out of the way and punish the wrongdoer. But this does lead to the real issue that we're all facing. Most of the problems that we're gotten into as a nation and as a state, and even locally, is we've just consented to it. There was a man in France, Tom Calvin, asked the question, how does one man rule over so many? We could shut down the TSA today if we refused to let them touch our private parts as a condition of travel without probable cause. It'd be that simple. No more. You don't view me naked. You don't touch my genitals. You don't touch my wife's breasts or my daughter's. You just don't do it. It would shut down there, and we'd come up with 1,000 different ways to provide security in the state of Texas and the United States that doesn't invade someone's dignity and their privacy. Is there a question here?
One last question.
Yes.
I have a question relative to the term limits that you talked about earlier, and the fact of nullification. I understand that General Abbott is quite successful on a few occasions in bringing suit against the federal government. I was wondering what your position on nullification through the state legislature against unconstitutional legislation, either through the legislature or the judges or the executive.
I filed a bill to deal with that, and it basically was a step in that direction. It wasn't full nullification, but it basically said that if the legislature, and I think I had it at 2/3, agreed that an act of the federal government was unconstitutional, that we would require the executive offices not to comply or support or be complicit with that unconstitutional actions. And I think it's basically non-compliance. I think that's the first step. First step, well, I'd say, is not taking the federal money. We need to stop sending it up there. And then secondly, I would say we don't comply. And then I do support nullification as a last resort. But we have to be very careful because that can lead to violence, and I do not support a violent overthrow of the government. I think we're out of questions, or we're out of time. And I'm under authority here. I'll answer your question. Anybody else's, I'll stay here just like Louis Gohmert does, as long as you want me to, and speak with you and discuss issues and answer your questions. But I do want to put in a plug for our Republican County Chairman. I hope that's all right. On this Friday, 1 o'clock, there's a golf tournament. They're trying to raise some money. It's $100 per player. And there's some really big prizes if you're good at golf and can possibly put a hole in one. There's a couple of pickup trucks, and there was a Buick and some other stuff. So if you're good at golf, you need to be at which country club is it?
Woodhall.
Woodhall, 1 o'clock, ready to tee off. I'm going to be there to shake a few hands. I'm not a golfer. I played 72 holes in my life, and that's it. And I think too much about what I should be doing. And I'm not good at getting the ball in the hole. Thank y'all so much for your attention. I do covet your prayers, and I welcome your input. As we move from reporting, getting prepared to the next legislature, especially welcome your input. We're beginning to think about the bills that we would support. We're also thinking about candidates that need to be returned and new ones to come. There's a good number of open seats now for former chairmen in the Texas House. Thank y'all so much. Lord bless y'all and give us the grace to use our freedom responsibly.